How to adjust insulin dose using tables. Before adjusting insulin dose, we must check for these. Has there been any change in exercise or diet? Has the insulin expired? Was it refrigerated correctly? Is the glucometer faulty? An approximate rule to remember is that 1 unit of insulin lowers blood sugar by around 10 milligrams percent. Fasting blood sugar ideal range is 90 to 110 milligrams percent, while postprandial is 120 to 160 milligrams percent. When we make a table, we jot down the date, the fasting blood sugar reading, the act rapid dose, the postprandial sugar readings for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the insulatard dose. Let's say on April 1st, the patient's fasting blood sugar is 165, and he received 10 units of act rapid half an hour before his breakfast. His 2-hour post-breakfast reading was 210. He received 10 units act rapid half an hour before his lunch. His post-lunch sugar reading was 140. He received 10 units act rapid half an hour before his dinner. His post-dinner reading was 140. And the insulatard dose that he received in the night before his dinner was 8 units. On day 2, his fasting sugar was 165. His act rapid dose in the morning is now increased by 4 units because the previous day did not show an adequate response with 10 units. So we increase it by 4 units, and let's say the post-breakfast reading came down to around 160. We're quite happy with that. The post-lunch sugar reading for 10 units act rapid the previous day was 140. Therefore, we don't need to adjust this insulin dose, but I would reduce the act rapid dose just a bit because the post-breakfast reading has come down by 50. Let's say now the post-lunch sugar reading is 130. And he received 9 units of act rapid with dinner. I reduced this a bit because the post-lunch sugar had come down a little further. His post-dinner reading remains the same, and we're happy with that. We increase the night dose of insulatard by 4 units in order to bring down the fasting blood sugar reading. And therefore now, the fasting blood sugar comes down to normal range, 120. We can reduce the act rapid dose a bit because the previous day, when the fasting was 165, 14 units was enough to bring it down to 160. So I would reduce it just a bit, maybe around 2 units. And then we see the post-breakfast reading comes down to 140. The rest of the insulin doses remain the same because the post-meal sugar readings were all right. Let us suppose the person is on Mixstard twice a day. We document a similar table, but we only need to check fasting blood sugar and 2-hour post-breakfast or 2-hour post-lunch sugar. Let's say on April 1st, the fasting blood sugar was 165 and the patient received 10 units of Mixstard half an hour before breakfast. His post-breakfast sugar reading was 210 milligrams percent and he received a night dose of Mixstard of 10 units. The second day, his fasting blood sugar is 165 and we had increased the morning dose of Mixstard by 4 units because the previous day's post-breakfast sugar reading was high. It therefore comes down to around 160 post-breakfast reading. His night dose of Mixstard is also increased by 4 units in order to bring down the fasting blood sugar to around 120. We reduce the morning dose of Mixstard a bit by 2 units because the fasting blood sugar has also come down. This brings down the post-breakfast reading to around 140 to 150. The night dose of Mixstard remains the same because the fasting blood sugar is adequate. We must remember that to adjust a post-meal reading, we need to adjust the insulin given prior to the meal. In order to adjust the fasting blood sugar, we need to adjust the night dose of intermediate-acting insulin or mixed insulin.